Hello and welcome to Success for Life. And today we are talking about the hidden secret of your mind, or the hidden secret of the mind. And I've been thinking about how I'm going to explain this or talk about this in such a short video. Obviously, you can learn more about it in the 11 Steps program that you can find here on the site. But I wanted to tell you about it or explain it to you in a short amount of time so that you can kind of understand the concept and maybe benefit from having this new knowledge. And what happened today was I've been reading. I just bought this book and I've been reading this book. Um, it's called Mind, and it's by Dr. Dan Siegel. And he's got some, does some fantastic research into the mind. And there's a part here, and I just want you to read it to you, and then I'm going to explain what I mean by the secret of the mind. And he says here, uh, though not commonly viewed this way, we can consider the perspective that the mind may be fundamentally related to energy and information flow. As we've seen, if we further envision that the system of mind extends beyond the boundaries of the skin, beyond a single skull, and even a single body, to some kind of distributed process in which mind also arises from our social connections of energy and information flow shared among us, we get a much broader sense of what the mind's essence may be. Couldn't the mind be considered embedded in our connections with others and the environment? A mind that is not only embodied, but also relational. So, some really powerful things he's saying there, and he proposes, and this is a fantastic book, by the way, and I want to thank Dr. Dan Siegel, and hopefully he's okay with me sharing this little bit. If you get a chance, read it. Um, what he's saying is here, what he's proposing is that we're not just our mind is not just in our heads, and obviously you've heard it before that your body, um, your body and mind are kind of one, but this goes beyond that. It means that we are actually interconnected, and then there's like a woven fabric or a world soul, whatever you want to call it, where everything is interconnected, and what we're doing and what we're thinking and what our body and the cells of our skin and the energy around us and the energy in the things around us all affect and are part of this wonderful mind that we as humans possess. So it's not just, when I say the mind, I'm not just referring to this up here in the skull. When I talk about the mind, I'm talking about the mind in a bigger scheme of things, in an interconnectedness. Now, the secret is that if you understand and if you can grasp that concept, then everything changes. Your whole life changes once you start to realize, and once you start to pay attention about how your thoughts and how you behave and how your body behaves and how the world around you behaves, you start to realize that it is all connected. And I'm going to give you an example of why this is so important. Um, Coincidences. Have you ever had, a time when you've thought of somebody, you were just laying in bed or you were walking and you thought of a person that you haven't seen in years, and the next thing you know, the phone rings and it's that person. Or you've been, walking in the mall, and you've been thinking about buying a certain pair of shoes or whatever, an exact certain pair of shoes that you've thought about, and you walk into a store and bam, the shoes are right there. There's so many instances where we can discuss this, but when we're not paying attention, we just blow it off and say, "Oh, that's cool. What a coincidence. Oh, that's kind of neat. I was just thinking about that." But if you understand this concept, if you understand that the secret of the mind is that it is interconnected with everything around us, and there's a relationship, then those coincidences and those things that happen are no longer coincidences. They are part of a fabric, and once you get it, once you see that, it almost acts like a guide to show you that you're on the right track, or that you're heading toward what you're putting out there. If you want to be successful and you have and your mind is correctly, organized, and you're doing all the things that we teach in the 11 steps, then everything around you will start to also fall into place. And it's like magic. And that's what it is. The secret of your mind is magic. And it's not just magic, and I'm not talking about a, kooky energy or whatever, or I'm talking about there's, scientific proof that this exists and that this, happens. And once you understand that you are more than just this thing in your head, that you are bigger, that you are connected. I'm going to give you another example. There's a study that they've been doing for many years now, and it's called random number generators. And what it is they have these machines throughout the world that this computer that generates random numbers. So it's constantly popping up ones or zeros, and they're random. So that over time these if you were to graph it, it's very random. There are no patterns. And what happened is they found that anytime there was been some huge mass world event, that the random number generators actually aren't so random anymore, that they start spitting out patterns. Um, so that they found that the actual conscious of the world, the global consciousness, affects these random number generators. Now, what really gets interesting is that they found, and this happened during 9/11, is that they found that before 9/11, these random number generators also had, these incredible patterns. They weren't random anymore. And so it also led them to believe that maybe, were we already aware that it was going to happen? Did we see into the future? Did our thoughts create that? So many questions, but that's for another discussion. The beauty of this is that you are interconnected, and when you realize and you pay attention to the things that are happening around you, to the things to the things that are happening with you, to the way your body's reacting, to the way your thoughts, that everything is interconnected. And when you know that, then you can use it as a compass to see if you're on the right track. You can also use it to guide you. Um, it's magic. So that's it. If you want to know more, the 11 steps on this website. Thank you.